All right, Dave, and we're counting down the hours now. My brother, we're getting close to the start of football season. We brought on the Steele Canyon Cougars. Dave, we're just, oh man, some people might be watching this delayed, so we'll just say a couple of hours until kickoff. And I know that excites everybody, not only on screen, but watching. And we're all kind of jealous of those other sports that are already kind of started playing some games. Let's meet the Steele Canyon Cougars, Dave, joining us. Between us, I put Logan in the middle of us, the underclassmen of this group. A big, big future for Logan. And let's meet the rest of them: Diego Virgen, ELIA, KIRISMASI, and TEMO RANGEL. We know these guys a little bit as well. I mean, these are the Steele Canyon Cougars, after all, Dave.
Yes, I can remember these faces not only on the football field, but on campus quite a few times too. Working campus supervision quite a few times with Mike, so it was good times. But especially, like I mentioned before we started the show, biggest game of the year was definitely that. I know it stung a little bit for the Cougars, but all in all, it was a fantastic game, entertaining for sure. And especially how you guys came out. I mean, you guys came out fired up. That was probably the most fired up you were, and I could combine two seasons that I would say when you came out for that one. And I'm going to go with Logan first on that one. What do you think? What do you have to say about that one? And how about a rematch with the Highlanders?
You're talking about Helix, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that game I was actually out with a sprained ankle, so I didn't play that one. But I could tell you everyone fired up for that one. It was huge.
Diego?
Oh yeah, we ready. We want that rematch. You know, we want to play hard against them.
I think they would. It would be that one too, Diego. But I think Granite Hills has become a rival over the years too. And the good thing about that though is I know that when it's all said and done though, at the end of the game, quite a few of you guys are friends anyhow. And I know the two coaches are great friends. And you know they hang out quite often actually after the games. So it's a good rivalry. It's a clean one.
Yeah, Dave. Right now, the Cougars are scheduled to meet the Scotties twice this season, and as cool as that would be, and I don't think we'll mind that if that's what it comes down to. We talked to Coach Owens the other day, and he's kind of told us what him and Coach Longerbone are thinking. They'd like to find a different opponent for that last game of the season, or if it's a couple of weeks earlier, if someone's schedule works out that way, I think they could still arrange it. But you know, there's nothing wrong with these two powerhouses playing twice this season, maybe to decide kind of a championship, because there is no championship this season. But we don't want to leave out the Eagles and the Foothillers as well. They got that little 2-game series. So what Coach Owens told us, Dave, is that if two teams could work it out, if they're playing each other and wanted a different opponent, or maybe wanted a higher caliber opponent, that the Cougars and the Highlanders, Dave, are maybe looking for a different opponent for that 6th and final game. But Dave, this Friday night, I think we've got 5 or 6 games this weekend, but just a neat game to start things off on Friday night, and I'll be out there right here in Lakeside. I'm in Lakeside, and El Capitan is going to host the Steele Canyon Cougars. Should be a great matchup. I don't know if these guys follow the way people talk about the rankings of teams, and I think it's very unfair, especially in this COVID season, because we haven't seen these teams in quite a while. But, you know, when we left off, the Cougars were kind of a top 10 team for sure in the county, despite what happened in that game. And we know how tough the rivalry has been between the top-ranked Highlanders and the Cougars, which are still in the top 10 in the legacy rankings. But some of the guys that you kind of make fun of, Dave, have downgraded the Cougars a bit, and I don't know how that's the case. I mean, look, there's going to be some turnover, but we know all the teams have some issues. ELIA, you've waited a long time to get this opportunity, and thankfully it's finally come to get a few games out there. So do you guys follow that? Is there any chip on your guys' shoulder at all, or is this just the Steele Canyon Cougars? And until we kind of get knocked off, we ain't going anywhere.
Well, I mean, losing in the playoffs, that really, hurts us a bit. And so going into our season this coming week, we're planning on to do something big. Do what we can.
And Timo, this defense, we build our foundation on the defense out at Steele Canyon. So there's nothing different about this D. You guys are still going to bring it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, our defense. We're a very young team, but we're coming with everything we got, even though we're young.
Yeah, and I think that's what Timo's saying, and maybe that's what other people are perceiving, Dave, that the Cougars might be a younger team, and that's just fine because, hey, this is an important season. It's going to be a memorable season. It's going to be one of the most significant seasons. I'm just talking about this 6-game season, but there's some work to be done because the other season is going to come along in just a few months, Dave, but an exciting schedule for the Cougars, including this Friday night.
Yeah, Timo, what do you think? First and foremost, it's got to be a little nicer playing in spring-like weather, or even. I guess we got a little rain today, but typically around this time when we're beginning the season, we're sweating so bad that we can barely see, especially when we're on defense and practicing in that real nice hot sun out there in Spring Valley / Humul. It gets pretty warm on that field for sure. And I bet you it feels much nicer out there. You could be out there a lot longer, and it really helps, I'm sure, in conditioning and getting ready for some of these games.
Yeah, for sure. The colder weather is a little bit nicer out here since the sun does beat down on us during the fall. It's summer, fall time. So right now we're ready. Me and Diego, we're the leaders of the defense. We're out here ready to lay it down on El Cap.
Oh yeah,
Sure, Dave.
One of my still to and I know he's been gone for a while, but still one of my favorite players that has since departed. But he was definitely a force and definitely a great voice on the field and a great team leader. And that is Billy Tellis. Boy, I just think he was a legend in his own on that defense. And he wasn't the biggest guy, but I'll tell you what, he kind of reminds me of a younger John Lynch from back in the day. Maybe not the same position, but he reminds me of a young John Lynch. And man, he may have been a small guy, but he'd bring some mean hits. And looking at your defense now, it is a little bit younger. What are you thinking? And any players that you could say that stand out right now to you, Diego?
sheesh. All right, so we got Josiah, we got Finley O'Gorman. He's pretty young. He's fast and strong. He's gonna do big things on a D line. We got Timo, young and fast, hitter. We just got a young team, and we're ready to bring it. Honestly, we're ready.
Now, I'm going to keep talking to you about it. How about that offense? The offense, it's a kind of a rebuild too. I mean, we've had several different quarterbacks in the last couple of years after having the efficient Thomas Fishburne for quite a few years. Now we've gone through a couple. Not that they've been bad at all. They've actually worked into the offense just fine, and it's really you can tell that it's just got great coaching and fundamentals. And not to take anything away from you guys as athletes, but I think the fundamentals that are taught at Steele Canyon and the football program definitely have something to do with it as well. You agree?
Yeah, honestly, I do. I honestly do. And it's our coaching staff. They know what they're doing. They're teaching us good, and they're getting us ready.
Yeah,
And to the offense, they're getting the offense ready, and
Yeah,
going really
talk a little offense. ELIA, I'll tease you a little bit right now. You know, in the paper today, it said you're lining up at wide receiver. You've worked very hard to achieve this quarterback role, and I know you relish it. But they're not lining you up at wideout, are they?
Nah, not like last year on that one play. Nah.
Right, and as a leader, you got Logan up front. We know Logan is, you know, his stock is rising fast. ELIA, tell me how he leads this offensive line.
He just, tells them what to do. Like every down, he just tells them what calls they need to make, what calls they, what he sees, and they'll go from there.
And Logan probably can't wait to get out there this Friday night and play El Capitan. How excited are you guys? We're all excited. I mean, we just want to get out and do something with family, with friends, with community, as many people as we can get, as many people as they'll allow in the stands. You guys just got to be thrilled right now, counting down these hours.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been waiting a long time for this, so we're ready. We're ready to go.
Oh yeah,
Dave, I know that today they probably felt like it was a blessing. A little bit of the skies parted a little bit. The sun came out. They probably thought it was going to be a drenched
For a second.
practice session, and I was out there doing a Kumaye rain dance so that we don't get wet on Friday night. I think the rain's probably gonna end right at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, hopefully, and keep us dry for those first games Friday night, Dave.
I think that's going to be the case, and I think it's like we keep referring to it. It's going to be a memorable season, although shortened. I think after we've made it through so much adversity and just not only for athletics and waiting on athletics, but just the adversity of life in general, and overcoming having to sit behind a computer for hours at a time has got to be pretty tough. And, not being able to hang out with our teammates on a regular basis, and, a lot of changes that we had to make. But all of a sudden, a week and a half ago, we get the word, and I can't imagine what you guys were going through and what was going through your head when you got the word that you're really, you almost got to pinch yourself and go, man, am I awake? Because they kept pushing it back so many times. And then following that, I'd say a couple of days later, the Scripps Ranch head coach had announced also that his lawsuit attempt with the state of California had also shook them up in Sacramento, and for the indoor athletics to be played as well. So I think that, and even our initiative to let them play, I think all that stuff did matter. And I think that all the effort that you guys, and I don't know if you guys are out there, but putting some of that out there, and all the effort, and getting in their face, I think that all of that played a big part in getting on the field a little faster.
Oh, no doubt about it, Dave. And I think that's part of the process of just getting out there. I mean, we want to win every game. And like I've said on a couple of our shows, every game's a championship game. There's no playoffs. You just one game at a time, and just a chance to compete and shine. So, Diego, as we approach the start of the season, Dave said it perfectly. We didn't know what was going on. How were your emotions as we rode out of January and it was looking so bleak? What did you and your friends talk about, and how did you stay motivated through this whole process? And did your coaching staff, some of the teams are saying, we knew that it was going to happen. And some say, well, we're just not sure. What was the approach of the Cougars? Were the coaches saying, keep ready, keep on it, let's be ready because it's going to happen? In January, I was so bummed.
Yeah, honestly, we were all motivated to get back on the field. We're all getting ready. We wanted to get bigger, faster as a team, and we're just looking forward for the season to start. We're ready. We're ready to play, and our coaches, pushing us to do better, get stronger, and they're a big part of that motivation. I think they're doing good. They kept on pushing us, giving us hope, and came out pretty good. I hope.
Timo, is it?
And
Oh,
I'm
go ahead,
pretty
Dave.
happy. We're all happy. It's happening.
Yeah.
So
you
that's
know,
good.
and I think that the coaching staff, you got to take your hats off to them too. That going through what they've had to go through. All the staff meetings, considering COVID and all the protocols that are going to have to happen, and going through the temperature and taking everybody's temperature and being tested 24 hours before you play. Really become the norm, and from what I understand, it's. Are we going to be? I know that baseball is going to be. Are we going to be wearing masks on the field as well while we're
I heard
playing?
sideline. We're gonna have to be wearing the mask. I'm pretty sure when we're playing. I think we are. I'm not sure. Completely sure. Yeah.
From what our head coach told
Before
us,
that.
he said that CIF might make us wear masks while we play, which is kind of goofy, but with the time we're in right now, it's kind of like we have to do it.
Well,
Probably willing,
but
probably willing to
if,
do
if
it. Yeah.
yeah, it's not so bad, like I said, with the weather and the season that it is right now. Now, if we would have been having to play in August, September, I think that would have been more of a difficult task because, you're going to start seeing players go down if you're robbing them. All that carbon dioxide you're breathing in and robbing them of oxygen. When you're sweating that bad and you're breathing like that and you're playing in those kind of conditions, I think that would change the whole idea of the mask. But since we are playing in spring-like temperatures, I think that's probably why they could probably get away with having you guys wear the masks on the field. But I still think that, in my opinion, I don't think it's necessary on the field. I think it worked in the NFL for the most part, so I think the sidelines should be for sure. But on the field, that's you need every bit of oxygen that you could take in. So, but again, that's my opinion, and I'm not a politician, and I'm not part of the
Could have
CIF.
fooled
So
me, Dave.
hey, I just try to do some research, and I just looking out for the kids and what works best for them. And to me, I think that could hinder some performance, but that's me.
Good
Yeah,
looking.
well, I did watch one basketball conference this year that every team played every game with a mask out in the Northeast, the America East Conference. But ELIA, they talked about the defense a little bit. We know a few guys didn't come to the team on offense, so if you can name some of your cohorts on the team, maybe a few more guys blocking up front with you with Logan, and maybe a few of your specialty players, backs and receivers, if you can. Don't slide anybody, but maybe a couple of guys that you're counting on to help you at quarterback this season.
Well, yeah, like we're pretty young, and some of the guys I could rely on is Major Givens, Manny Lovering, Jacob Monzo. These are all like underclassmen, and they're pretty good. And Adrian Chugaloff. I can name a couple, maybe even more, but yeah, that's from my receiving core. And then up front, we got, besides Logan, we got Elias Vizcaino, and then he's a center. And then we got Tristan Lovering at right guard, and then we have Isaac Hernandez as our left guard, but we call him Fluffy. That's his nickname. And then yeah,
He's
and then
never going to live that down.
Does he have big hair or something?
What was that?
Does he have big hair or something? Or
No,
I love that.
So the comedian Enrique Iglesias, Fluffy.
Yeah.
That kind of went with him since like freshman year.
Hey, I'm all about the nicknames, and I got what I'm just gonna have to come clean. I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
Who's gonna stand up? Who's Junja? Huh?
That's my nickname. My auntie calls me. It's been like that since I was a baby. Cause
Hi, Auntie Nana. All right, we got her on. There's lots of other people in the chat
Sweet.
too. I don't know who's gonna get the tickets, but you know what? We might see some more comments in there. Who's gonna get the family tickets as we go along? Logan, what's the philosophy? Gibbons has certainly touted to be the next Cougar style running back. We've had some very good backs. Gibbons is the one that's kind of been touted. I'm sure you got some others. What's the offensive philosophy with him, with ELIA? Because we know ELIA has experience now at quarterback. I mean, it's not like Dave said, there have been some quarterback battles a little bit over the last couple of years, but ELIA's the guy now. What's the philosophy, Logan, of the Cougar offense this season?
Yeah, I mean, ELIA started the whole second half of last season. So he's got the experience, got a lot of confidence in him. Like you said, Major, he's young, but he's definitely going to be a huge part of our offense. And, our O-line's pretty powerful. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. Dave, we always see the Cougars, they keep saying young. I'm trying to sell them off as, hey, we're still the Cougars. But Gibbons is just a sophomore. So there's going to be some building with this team. But like I keep saying, Dave, these are the Cougars. So I don't know, Dave, like I said about those, I don't even think if they're called polls, but for some reason, Steele Canyon's not up there where they usually are. And I don't see this program. I mean, look, with all due respect, these guys are stars, and there's going to be new stars all the time. But the way that the programs are set up right now, all of our teams in the East County, you know what? When you're good, you're good. It kind of takes a couple of years to drop, 5, 10, 15 notches, Dave.
Well, I mean, I think Coach Robbie Owens from Helix said it best. You take our Grossmont Hills League, and the whole league can match up against anybody in the county, whether it be the North County, South County. I think that the whole league, those 4 teams would definitely they can play against anybody, and I really do believe that they have that much talent all across the board. I'm sure these gentlemen right here in front of us too would definitely agree too, and they could pick out a couple of stars from each and every one of those teams that they play typically too.
Hey, TEMO, would you guys like to play Helix twice, or would you like to maybe mix that thing in that Coach Longerbone? I mean, that the coaches keep talking about trying to find another opponent. I mean, look, those Helix games over the last 2-3 years, even before you guys a little bit, have been strong. I mean, because basically you guys have caught the Highlanders, and remember that big win that they had. So I think we want to play them twice, or if you think we get that other game against an opponent, maybe from Orange County or something, that might be a little bit more fun, given the fact we only have 6 opportunities to play.
No, yeah, for sure. We would definitely like some different competition somewhere up north, or just another team in the county, instead of playing the same team over and just basically just having like a scrimmage or something. It would be definitely cool to play a team from LA, or just like Christian, or just another school from around the San Diego County.
And Dave,
that would be it.
Remember what Coach Owens said, that they will not stand up the Cougars, and the Cougars will not be standing up the Highlanders. If one of these 2 teams were to find an opponent that says, hey, we'll play you, they're not going to say, hey, you know what? Sorry, Highlanders, or sorry, Cougars, we're going to go grab this game and you're on your own to find another opponent. Both these teams, to clear that situation, will have to find comparable opponents, or 2 opponents to go play each other. They're not going to stand them up going to the dance.
Timo, you mentioned Christian. I've always and I've even talked with Brian Wilbur about this, and I think it's always it's been discussed in years past. I think that adding Christian actually to the Grossmont Conference would be absolutely a phenomenal thing, and I think all the teams in the Grossmont Conference would agree too. And I think they would compete well with a lot of teams, and a lot of you guys would compete well with them. And I think it would even things out a little bit as well. And or even just throw them in the mix. Every year, Grossmont Conference team gets to play them, and that would be perfect. I mean, I know that you guys originally you were supposed to play Granite Hills twice, and that was prior to the Helix situation, and because Kellen and Coach Longerbone, I mean, they have a great relationship, so they went, hey, why not? We'll play each other again. But like you said, you want more of a diversity, especially in a shortened season. And now, I'm going to ask you first, Logan. Are you concerned that there's no really CIF patch or no trophy or nothing that's going to be handed down for all your hard work if you do, let's just say, go undefeated and win the Hills?
Honestly, I don't really care. I'm just happy we can play. It would have been nice to have some playoffs and, a CIF championship, but we're going to take what we can get. So.
Yeah. Diego, is it enough? I mean, we have to be honest with ourselves. We could say, we did. We got gypped. We all did. I mean, not just athletes, the society. So you have to feel like the opportunity to play these games, even if it's 6 games, that's enough, right? I mean, it's not enough, but I mean, the satisfaction of knowing what's going on with our society and all this, and for everything to happen so rapidly too, it's enough, right? I mean, it's satisfying to the soul.
It's something. We're getting a chance to play, and if it was, if COVID was really bad, we wouldn't be able to play, and that kind of breaks people's dreams and stuff. But it's pretty. It's nice. 6 games is nice. It's nice. We're getting something. We're getting some playing time. That's what counts at the end, and we're happy. So.
And Elliot, with being the younger classmen, this is an opportunity, even though it is a shortened season, for to not have happen to you what happened to the seniors, and have the season robbed, if you will, like that. At least you'll have a chance for some scouting tapes, more footage, more looks from different colleges. And more of an opportunity for the future. I think even though it is 6 games, it's better than playing none like we did in 2020. So I think the underclassmen will definitely benefit from playing this season for sure. For the seniors, I think that you guys, it's just at least you'll be able to say, I played my senior year. I get to enjoy every minute, you guys will be enjoying every snap that you guys have on offense and defense. And when you play your last game, maybe we'll even be able to high five our buddies by then. And, we won't have to do this air five and these elbows and all that business. We'll actually be able to give each other a high five like we have been for many years. And I think that alone would show some growth, and that we're getting some normalcy. And which playing 6 games, we got some normalcy there. And I even heard, don't want to jump to conclusions, but I heard on the radio that even season ticket holders for the San Diego Padres, there's a possibility that we might see 15,000 fans in the seats if they pass the COVID protocols. So I think we're all moving in the right direction, and I think that's where it starts, is with athletics. why California was last. I don't know the answer to that. I think it's ridiculous, but that's a whole nother topic I could go off on for quite a while. But at least we are playing, and someone finally, the right people listened, and the right people made it happen.
Dave, I'll explain it to you after we get off the air. But ELIA, we've come a long way from back in the way before when we were wiping down the equipment after every time we touched. You're a quarterback. I mean, they showed on TV trying to wipe down the football after every time you threw it. It's so gratifying to just kind of be a little bit normal out there right now, huh?
Well, yeah, at first, like, because during the summer, we were prepping for the season, you know, not knowing it would be canceled. But during that time, we would use I don't know what type of footballs, but they were easily washable, you know, where you just put hand sanitizer or something. I don't know. To me, it's ridiculous. But, yeah, we had to be able to do that. And then once everything started, you know, COVID cases started going down, that's when our coach was like, oh, you can start using your own ball. And so, you know, being able to do that, being comfortable with my actual ball, you know, that's everything.
You know, and gentlemen and Ramon, I mean, you think about it. One player in particular in the NFL that I always wondered if they're spraying down all of those, and he's very typical at every time he every time he's going to have the ball snapped to him. Drew Brees has that. He has his hands in his mouth every single time he has that ball snapped to him. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but he's always licking his hands. You know, and even in this COVID time, I'd say almost every snap. I don't know if anybody's noticed that, and I'm going, wait a minute. You know, we're supposed to be. They're not wearing gloves. The quarterbacks don't have to wear gloves, but I think we need to be a little more careful. And Drew's out there just doing his thing like he normally does. He does his shoulder, but he was doing this thing too, and I'm just like, wow, that's being shown live on TV. You'd think that might be a fine, but the point is, he wasn't getting sick. I think that we've come a long way now with having to spray the balls down. Like you said, you get to use your own ball. You're comfortable with your own ball, and I think as we proceed to the soon-to-be following season, full football season, I'm pretty sure that we're going to be able to get past all of this, maybe even maskless, to be quite honest.
That sounds awesome, Dave. As far as getting through these 6 games, I mean, I think that's the most significant thing we could do. These other sports have started, and that's important, but also getting back on campus has been big. Logan, what's it been like just to kind of – I know we still got to do some of this computer learning, but seeing your friends, just not only the football team, but seeing some fellow classmates, it's just got to bring morale up tremendously.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know for us, we're going on campus 2 days a week, but it was great. You know, having to be in my room, you know, looking at my computer every day for a few months, it sucked. But you know, we're all really happy to be back.
No, Logan. My son's a sophomore, and he attends West Hills, and he was telling me, for instance, he goes Wednesdays and Fridays. And he was saying there was like 6 or 7 students per classroom. Is that what's going on over at Steele as well? Is it pretty much the same?
Yeah. It's I mean, some classes. I know for me, I have certain classes where there's only like 5 people in the class. So yeah, it's different.
And you could hear, is it true too? He said in at least in one of his classes, I think it was English. I mean, you could hear a pin drop if you if they give you your assignments, and if somebody drops something, everybody's pretty much getting whiplash looking at what happened.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Having, you know, just the whole mood is different, but it's all right.
But at least you're. Like Ramon said, at least we're creeping back up to where we're supposed to be. from what I understand, they want to rework the HVAC system and things like that. Honestly, I mean, the construction background that I have, that would take quite a few years to do something like that. So I think that we're going to probably end up going a different route. And I think maybe 15, 17 kids in a class if we have to. I think that that's more sufficient and more doable. And we could spread somebody out in the size of those classrooms. I mean, I've been on Steele's campus quite a few times. I think that would work out just fine instead of reworking a whole inside of it. It's a big deal, and then so get you away from the computers all day at least, and save your eyes.
Yeah, right, Dave. It's funny because we've done I think we've almost gotten through all the teams right now, and we've been doing shows all through the pandemic. And frankly, I'm tired of it. I can't imagine these guys, how they are every day going through these. I mean, I love this, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying in comparison to going out there and seeing these guys in person like I'm going to do on Friday night. And Dave, I just want to tell everybody as we kind of approach the game, I know everyone's worried about maybe not getting to the game or seeing the game, and if we have limited tickets available, Dave, but I just want to tell you right now that you and we're going to be broadcasting live this Friday night. And I'm going to be out there at El Capitan High School. We're going to turn on the phones. You know that how we've shown the highlights on social media over the last, 4 or 5 years as this technology has become prevalent. Well, this Friday night, Dave, we're going to turn those cameras on live and welcome everybody into the East County end zone. I'm going to be out there at El Capitan. Every time that ball gets close, we're going to fire up those phones, and you're going to be out at Grossmont High watching Mission Hills at Grossmont. So, TEMO, I can't wait for the excitement, and I'm excited to try this little project that I'm doing. But you guys, as we've talked about, all fired up. But what do you know about the El Capitan Vaqueros? I mean, they're somewhat of a familiar opponent, but some of these teams, all the teams are different, really. So is there a certain strategy that the defense is going to employ? Are you talking about the opponent at all? Or is it just kind of like, let's just be ready, play our defense? We know a little bit about what their philosophy is at El Capitan. What's going on with this Friday night's game?
No, we're actually we're going through a lot of film. We're studying up who the main guys are. We're going over it in practice, getting our scout guys running what they run, and just really preparing for them, because every team, you never know what they're going to come out with. So we have to prepare for anything, and just really just going over film and just scout reports and everything like that.
Very interesting, Dave. That's taking the opponent seriously, because I will say, Dave, even though the Cougars, if they're young, if they're down a little bit, I'll just say it like that, they're probably still going to be expected to win over El Cap. But El Cap's at home. We're dealing with the situation that we all know. There's a little bit of an equalizer here because of the time off. Everyone's been working out, getting ready. The teams are maybe a little more equal because of that. I think the Cougars may be in to try to get into a little bit of a power game with the Vaqueros. I don't know. ELIA definitely can throw. We've seen it, but we think he can rely on that run game too. So, ELIA, I'm kind of expecting a low-scoring game, but I know that you want to put points on the board. Is ball control the most important thing against the Vaqueros, or do you need to be explosive with your guys?
Well, I think starting off the game, we got to come out strong first drive. So whether it's running the ball or passing the ball, it don't matter. We're taking what the defense gives us. So, the first snap is, just reading defense, seeing what they give us, and then we'll go from there.
Now, Lee, you might have I'm sure you're looking at that in particular, especially when you're behind center, you're looking at who's coming off the edge, and they don't exactly have tiny guys coming off that line that'll be coming at you too. But I'm sure you have faith in your O-line as well. But should be a good competition there. But have you watched that in particular of how their edge rushers work?
Yeah. Well, with film, we're watching old highlights from last year, and we're kind of basing off of that. And we know what they're gonna run against us. We know what we're gonna expect. So going from that, we could kind of picture what we're gonna run. With practice, we have the scout team line up in a certain way, how they would line up. So we're pretty prepared for this game.
And Logan, that's pretty much as prepared as you could become. I mean, with having almost a full year off. I mean, and players that have come and gone. I mean, a good example that everybody talks about, Tyler Buckner is at Notre Dame now, so he was out of the equation pretty quickly, which I think was by design, but that's just my opinion. But I think that we can prepare, but it's going to be a weird season because we don't have that recent film up until maybe we get 1 or 2 games in.
Right. I mean, we're going off film from a year and a half ago. So for all we know, they could come out with something totally different. But, we're prepared for whatever they got.
Yeah, well said, because I think we know the philosophies of both Coach Berner and Coach Longerbone, but we also know that they're two coaches that are known for a few wrinkles here and there, Dave. And I think that in a game like this, it could be a gadget maybe or decisive, a big play that determines the winner in a game like this, Dave.
Oh, that's absolutely what I'm looking for. I that's what I like about Longerbone and Coach Berner. They're a couple of old school, but I think they got a couple tricks up their sleeve or in their back pocket or out, however you want to call it. And I think if it's real close, I think one of them are going to pull that rabbit out of the hat that you're going to least suspect. And if you're on defense, either you guys or the Vaqueros better be ready and better be on your toes, because you never know what's going to happen again, because you don't have as much time to prepare. But with that being said, a lot of you have had almost 14 months to physically condition yourselves, which is more than has ever happened in, I'm sure, decades. So that's got to be a good thing. After talking to the quarterback for Granite, Justice McComb, how long he's been working out and all that extra time. I think it came up to about 14 months, and he was mentioning too that you guys are in better shape physically. And I think that the mental will come along with it. And I'm sure because we are playing the sport that we know and love now, that our mental is definitely sky high at this point too, less than 48 hours before we hit that field.
Yeah. TEMO, is that the case? You guys just euphoric emotionally right now? Can we get to sleep the next 2 nights?
Yeah, I mean, we're ready. We want to hit them hard. We're ready to play this game.
Hey, TEMO, the student athlete, they've been saying about the student athletes right now, because of what Dave was saying, that the student athletes are maybe in the best shape of their entire lives. Now, I don't know if I believe that. I mean, you guys are 16, 17, 18 years old, and I would expect you guys to be in great shape. But did that change the philosophy, or I don't know if it's called philosophy, but just the desire to bulk up, be stronger, give you time to reflect, and just, you guys said you're going to be ready, but do you think that everyone is in better, stronger shape, like Dave said?
Honestly, maybe. I know a lot of kids been slacking, just playing video games, this and that. But on the other hand, there's a lot of kids just actually like working out hard and just preparing, because you never know when they were going to announce if we were going to have a season or not.
That's right, Dave. And I think that's why, with all due respect to the opponent of the Cougars on Friday night, that we could see some things that maybe we're not expecting as far as results are concerned, because maybe some players, I won't say teams, because I think that the coaching staffs are focused, and I think many players are focused, but and we've also seen some players, drop out as well, or not, want to participate in this short season, Dave.
Well, I know if there's one thing, and I'm sure all the Cougars here will agree. There's no lack of discipline as a Cougar at Steele Canyon, especially in the football program. And I'm going to give that one to you, Timo. Would you say that there is no lack of discipline? Correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're all disciplined out at Steele Canyon. We're all just getting our heads right, getting in the gym, getting our conditioning in, just getting prepared.
And if there was ever a head coach, I definitely believe in as far as that and what I've seen on the field, he'll definitely have you guys prepared. Not to take anything away from Coach Berner, because he's been doing it a long time too. So I'm prepared for honestly, I'm prepared for a low scoring, probably a game played in the trenches, and it might come down to who has the best special teams.
Well, we know that the Cougars have explosive specialties, but we know the Vaqueros have some speed too, Dave. So maybe, 3 touchdowns probably will win the game on Friday night. You know what? 2 touchdowns might win the game on Friday night, which is a bit of an intimidating thought for a football team. But if the defenses hold and they play that tough D, that could be the deciding factor. If it comes down to one possession, making that one key play, that could be the difference. Dave, it's just kind of come to me now that we're kind of wrapping up these shows with all the teams. And I think one thing that's interesting about starting here in March with this, I think you put it succinctly, and I'm concluding it now that, all of these players, no matter what grade, they are 6 months older than they would have been in the start of the season. Now, that doesn't seem like much, but when you're talking about the kids that are, this age, 16, 17, 18, that's a growth spurt for a lot of kids. So I think what we might see, maybe some rustiness or what on Friday night, but I think that we might see a little bit faster athlete, a little bit stronger athlete, just because of the these guys are a little bit older. I don't know, that might be just something I'm throwing out there, Dave. I think that's interesting, though.
I think that they nailed it on the head. That it just depends on it really does depend on the individual. You're always going to have the handful that it's unfortunate that they don't have the discipline, the self-discipline. You can't always depend on a coach or depend on the parents to you got to be self-disciplined as well. That I'm not going to sit here and play Madden for friggin' 6 hours or whatever game you're playing. I mean, your thumbs don't need to be the strongest muscles in your body. So it might help the receivers a little bit, but what I'm saying is it comes to self-discipline, really, and how well you conduct yourself on the field, working out, and especially in the classroom too, because guess what? If you don't have the academics, you could be right in the pine. So that's equally as important.
Agreed, Dave. No doubt about it. Trying to see if I got ELIA back. I lost Diego. If Diego might have be trouble, we want to thank him for coming in. If he wants to come back in, we'll get him in. But we were glad to talk to him as well. So, ELIA, you still with me down there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here.
I think he's getting an Uber ride home from practice. So.
No,
Hey.
I'm at the school still because
it looked like
Yeah, she's playing soccer right now, and I'm in the car with my dad right here. So
nice.
Yeah.
Hi, Dad. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, the soccer season got underway. I think that's just I feel bad. I bet ELIA would be. Well, I don't know. I don't know if we can even go down there and support the teams in the crowd, in the crowd right now. But just so awesome, Dave, to get these guys. I want to thank the Steele Canyon Cougars, Dave. We're going to catch up with these. I'm going to see them on Friday night, and I'm so excited about going out there. And also our new show, the East County End Zone. Hopefully we'll see Logan and ELIA down there in that end zone. Maybe they'll score a touchdown and yell at us or something, Dave, and bring back football. I think that's the important thing. We're all going to feel, we're all going to be reserved. We're all going to be conscious of where we stand. We know that we're not out of the woods and, we're getting healthier, but we're going to reflect and be thankful for the opportunity to get out there on Friday night, Dave. But yet I just have a feeling these guys are going to cut loose. All of our student athletes are going to cut loose on the field, Dave, on Friday night and the other sports as well. We've already seen.
Yeah, no penalties, fellas, but I do want to see some celebrations in there that you can get away with, something interesting. Just don't get yourself flagged, but it would be nice to hear some growls or some even some simple, let's go. I mean, something like to that effect. I mean, just to let it out on the field. You know what I'm getting at. I think that'll really truly mean that football's back at the high school level. So I want to just thank you, gentlemen, for it was a little bit of a late notice, but I got a hold of Coach Longerbone this morning, and since I didn't get to go to my day job today, so I made a phone call, and glad to have you guys come aboard. And then you guys were pretty much last, but definitely not least on the show. And thanks for spending the evening with us. And we look forward to seeing you on the field. Ramon will be doing so. And good luck on the season. And for East County Sports, I'm Dave Dickens. And for Ramon Scott, thanks for a great show tonight.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I want to thank the Cougars. I want to thank Coach Longerbone for sending the players along, and want to thank Diego Virgin. He dropped off. Probably ran out of battery. Dave, we better not run out of battery on Friday night. That might be the important thing. But thanks to these guys as well. Yeah, offensive lineman in between Dave and I, Logan Hicks, and also TEMO RANGEL, the middle linebacker down there below me. And let's just say it, Sacramento State bound, top academic student right there, ELIA KIRISMASI. Hey, there's no I in team, but there are a few I's in ELIA's name, that's for sure. Thanks, brother. We'll see you out there. We're gonna do
that was a good one.
Hey,
That
thanks.
was
Let's
a
get
good one. I
post
never heard that one before.
Hey, I got more for you, and I'll see you on Friday night. We might have a post-game interview 6 feet apart, guys. All right. Thanks a lot, Dave, for getting these guys together, and for the East County Sports Report and Dave Dickens. I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.